Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your usual host, Drongo, Caris of the Black Bulls Night Squad at twitch.tv or Raven Sun at TikTok. And here in the first video, you're going to see me playing a Bagra Army mix-up build that I'm trying to work with. I'm trying to find a way to make Bagra Army work right. I'm on the left playing Purple Bagra, and on the right is Thomas playing the up-to-date build of d-beigade, which actually did really surprisingly well in this format against the cross-heart decks and everything, and it's doing extremely well. He actually did really good all day during the tournament. Got in the top, I want to say top 2, I believe. Yeah, he got second place, yeah. And pretty good job. So kudos to you, bro. You did really good. And he seems to have found a deck that for this format is working extremely well for him. I have been enjoying Gamamon, but it just isn't, it's missing something. I've got it right there, right on the nail's head. I just got to figure out how to line the hammer up, if you get what I mean by that. The deck is like, it's almost there, it's just missing something right at the edge of the hit. But anyways, so back to the point. Bagra Army. You'll have to get used to something in this video profile. I do not own these cards, okay? Purple Memory Boost. My backwards proxies are 2 copies of Purple Memory Boost. I sadly just don't have any, and so it's the only card I had to proxy. The rest of the deck, up to 4 copies, I own those cards, but Purple Memory Boost, I do not. I am running 2 matte Ishidas. I've noticed that matte Ishidas are really cool in this deck because they allow you to grab back a purple option or a purple Digimon and go for another play, which seems like a really cool play. There you go. You can see the 1 proxy there in the back. It's a Purple Memory Boost. And I was like, well, that was kind of a whiff. I can't add those. And to the bottom they go. But, so 2 copies of that proxy. Purple Memory Boost is alright in the deck. We are working around the clock to try and make Bagra Army something decent and fun to play right now. And then, of course, once BT11 drops, it will be something to watch out for. Because I feel like Bagra Army is going to be one of those rogue decks that people don't pay much attention to. And that's the end of Game 1. And here in Game 2, you'll see a lot of people playing the rogue decks in BT11. EX3 and BT11, I see tons, and I mean tons, of decks fighting for the top spot. It looks like there's about 8 of them altogether, maybe even a 9th one, I don't know. That'll be in the end of the year, beginning of the year update. So be looking forward to that video. It's going to be an interesting experience, to say the least, to see how this next month and a half plays out with this new set dropping. New decks are coming up every day. Builds are getting changed. And we're seeing all kinds of really cool different things. Also, try not to judge too harshly in this video. It is my first time playing Bagra Army. Not first time officially, per se. But it is my first time trying to push this deck as hard as I can. And it's a learning process, because it's definitely a high difficulty level deck. It's not one of those decks that's very easy to play if you're not used to the playstyle at all. So it's very easy to get smoked out very early in the game. Bagra Army does struggle pretty hard, especially against high aggro decks, because it's a prep deck. You're really building up to something to explode and just drop a bombshell on your opponent's plans. But it's really hard to build up to it, because not all the support is out yet, and so it's a little bit tricky to play. It's much like when I was playing Gamamon. I'm playing with a deck that's slightly handicapped, and it does kind of have some sucky effects because of that. But aside from that, it's been a lot of fun to play the deck. I've had a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's very interactive, and it does all kinds of different effects and does all these different things. So it's super fun to play if you're looking for a purple deck to play this format. And if you got any suggestions, go ahead and throw them in the comment bar, and I'll probably give it a shot. Anything to make the deck more consistent and make it faster would be really cool. But aside from that, again, just a shout out to Thomas. He did really well today, and we're all pretty proud of him. He got second place, and just absolutely he did a great job. So yeah, um, Bagra Army, super fun. If you're looking to pick it up, I recommend it. It's absolutely awesome. Very easy to play deck after you've learned all the effects and memorized. On the difficulty meter, I'd say this deck is probably close to a 3. Maybe you could even argue for a 4, but I would say more of a 3. Just because the deck is not too complex, but it has enough complexity to kind of overwhelm you. If you get a little distracted at any time or anything, you'll lose track of what you was doing, and you'll misplay something, and it'll just kind of screw you up. But it's a super fun deck. Just don't knock it before you try it. It's definitely incredibly interesting to see it in play as you're watching here, and so yeah. Um, and let's see here what ended up happening. Oh yeah. So he was able to really push for the win. I'm playing too slow. I'm making misplays everywhere. After going back and reviewing this footage during commentary, I was like, oh my gosh, I misplayed all of this stuff so much. I could have been taking his turn away from him so much more. I could have been digivolving twice as fast as him and everything. But hindsight is always 20/20. So yeah, definitely pay attention to the card effects. Read them very carefully and memorize them through and through. Memorize the deletion effects. Memorize the on-play effects. Everything, because they're incredibly important. And I made a lot of misplays here and missed triggers when I could have activated them. And so it feels kind of bad to look back on it now and realize, oh my god, when he played that, I could have took his turn away at that point instead of letting him play 2 more guys. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, there's a lot of hindsight here, but Tactimon's an interesting play. I'm probably gonna drop Tactimon out altogether. I have it as a one of. Bless me. And the reason why was just if I get in a pinch, drop it, make 2 blockers. But now I realize, what's the point? It just won't play the way I want it to unless he's the main focus of the deck. So probably just going to go to 4 Blastmon, leave it at that, and be happy. It's a really cool deck all the way around. But yeah, here it is in game 2. He does beat me again. I wish I had paid so much more attention and played a little bit better. People were distracting him a lot, so he was getting up and walking away and coming back, things like that, and it was throwing me off, making me lose track of what I was doing, and not to put blame anywhere, I'm just saying it's a little frustrating. If you see people having a match, try not to bug them too much, because they might be easily distracted, and that could cause misplays and screw-ups. Thankfully, this wasn't a tournament match. This was just us practicing and warming up before the tournament, and so yeah, it was a little frustrating, but in the end, it all worked out just fine, and we had a lot of fun at our store tournament today, and so yeah, but yep, in the end, he does win right here in just a moment. As you can see, I've got 0 security, he's got 2. I wasn't able to pull anything out. I was sitting there fumbling through all my stuff like, man, what can I do? All I need to do is just get 2 more through, and then I can possibly go for the blitz win. But I couldn't get it. I couldn't make it work. And it was because I was misplaying. Like, for example, with Trutmon, I was detaching to gain 1 memory, but I should have been gaining 2 memory instead of 1 every time, because detaching him for his effect gives me 1, and then the inheritable from the detach also says I gain 1 memory. And I completely forgot about that rule, and therefore did not use it correctly, and that's the end of game 2. In case you're curious as to where I get my supplies, check out any of these locations. Check out Dicehead Games and Comics at 200 Paul Huff Parkway in Cleveland, Tennessee. Tell them Drongo sent you. Or Stars and Slabs Hobby Shop, 2520 Keith Street in Cleveland, Tennessee. Or even Battlegrounds Games and Comics in Dalton, Georgia, 2708 Airport Road.
Team O.G Destined is all about that hygiene. You want to smell good? Check out Buff City Soap, where they got a great selection of homemade soaps in the store where they make it.
All right, here in matchup two, you got Thomas on the left playing Dark D-Brigade, of course, and on the right, you've got Blue Flare being played by Alex Senpai, and he's this deck was devastatingly powerful all day. Uh, be looking for those deck profiles to be up tonight. I got both of their deck profiles put together. There's a little bit of chatter in the background, so just be braced for it. It's a little bit annoying, I know, and I'm sorry, but everybody was super, super rowdy. The tournament had just ended, and everybody was excited. They all wanted to go out to Olive Garden and kind of, eat and talk about how much fun they had and all that. So, um, Blue Flare on the right here is what I'm thinking about playing this meta. If I could just finish it, all I'm missing is 4 Metal Greymons and 1 Tamer. The rest of it I've already got, and it's on its way in the mail and blah, blah, blah. So, all that good stuff. But, yeah, they played their hearts out here, and I just wanted to take a couple of moments to explain that by the end of the matchup, Thomas on the left here gave the win over to Alex because he realized there's no point in trying to play for the invite if he's not going to go to the event itself. And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "There's no point. I already know for a fact that I'm not going, so I better just hand this invite to somebody who actually has plans to go." And so he gave the win over to Alex, just so that way he could have his win and be able to do that. Um, and honestly, I can agree. So here's the end of game one. Yeah, I've always found it kind of annoying when people already have the invites or don't plan to use them. They go above and beyond to win them, and I'm like, why are you doing that? You're limiting the number of people who can possibly participate. So honestly, Bandai needs to change it so that from here on out, if you already have an invite and you win, then it passes down to the second place person, and if they already have an invite, then it passes down. It needs to be that way. That way, we can have bigger turnouts for Nats and just have a much more heavy impact on the number of players participating at the big events, and that will help the game grow and stay alive and continue to thrive. Because if they don't, and people just keep seeing a small number show up every year, it's going to dampen the game's profit margin, and it's going to cause the game to die. And we don't want that. We want Digimon to survive. We want it to be a good card game. We want it to thrive. We want it to live on for years and years and years to come. We want it to be 20, 30, 40 years down the road when they finally announce that it's over. So it's not a good idea for it to for them to have such a small turnout every time, and I just think that's what they need to do. They need to set it up differently from here on out. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and crank up the music and enjoy.